it's almost like the arts are considered as an afterthought. And so theaters and other arts managers really struggle to find ways to let more people in. So I think often as artists we tend to see it as, oh, these people, they don't want us here and they're keeping it tight.
So what are you doing? There's a no, there's a stop.
It's not, I think in South Africa though, there is this thing that the artist, you know, you don't even need to pay them.
I remember when I was in school, there was a time where I thought Nzoba a chartered accountant, you know, and the reason why is that at school the only careers that Bebawa advertiser, it was like your IT and all these other chartered accountants. So the career guidance people mabeze school, and they told us, no, you know, if you become a chartered accountant, you're gonna earn X amount of money. So for me, you know, also growing up, go forum house, end of fire, I thought, yo, if I become a chartered accountant, I'll be able to, you know, fix and make things much more better.
We were never meant to be, so I'll put my soul to rest and promise that I'll meet you somewhere. Maybe God had a different plan than we had. Never meant to be. And I was actually just trying to practice like fly me to the moon, honestly. Fly me to the moon, let me sail amongst the stars. Let me feel how spring is like on Jupiter or Mars. In other words, I think artists, you know, sometimes themselves, you know, just like create and try to find a market, you know, for yourself. Sometimes like markets are not there, you know, the market will arise because you created something. So try, you know, if you can get the materials to create what you need to create, you know, that's one less problem to have. So create. I think if people don't have materials to be able to work and do the things that they need to do, that's a problem. And I think that's like the first barrier to entry, you know. But beyond that, I think it's artists themselves not innovating, finding creative ways. But you know, like the young cats are doing it, you know, and yeah. Well, I wrote something very profound. I need to share it, quoting myself. I wrote, "Dear young artist, I hope you never meet anyone you love so much that you want to be like them. And this is both for your sake and art's sake," you know. And I maintained it. I thought it was so beautiful, you know. I'd forgotten that I'd said something like that. You know, but it's important to just to recognize who you are, you know, and try and live that through fully. It's also important to, you know, sort of make a quick distinction between, you know, do you want to be like an artist, or do you want to be like a celebrity artist, you know? I think that's a very good place to be. It'll save you a lot of cognitive dissonance later, you know, when you feel like you shouldn't be doing certain things because you are an artist, or you should be doing certain things because you are a celebrity artist, you know. So make that decision quite early. You can always change that decision, but like always know when you're making that decision of being a celebrity artist or a artist. Because continuously you're also struggling with your own ideas, and because you also can't take yourself too serious. You can't think that you're the good Makruzu, like you know everything, or you're correct. You always, not always, but sometimes you need to leave the space to reconsider. And even if I had sent it to you, and then I'm like, maybe not. Yeah, it's like I read another thing on Culture Review on Questa. I think Questa being a world star, someone who failed to become a world star and end up being just a star from Katlehong. And I was just like, wow, how do I feel about the piece? I understand the piece was written from a particular perspective, I don't know. I think I end up questioning the reality of what the piece does outside of what its intended purpose or intention, or the intention of the writer was. Yeah, so I think things like that, it's like, oh no, it's going to be an enjoyable piece, but what does this do, to the artist or to the person, and again, is it necessary even?
I would advise someone who wants to do what I do. Firstly, it's about passion. You have to have a passion of art or artifacts, If you could see how I handle artworks, because I know there's artworks that would worth like 300,000 to $1 million that you have to put on the wall, and anything can happen, Also, it's that thing of how you make sure with whatever you do it with passion, you do it with love. If you're doing it to make money out of it, you'll be stressed. But also, if you find passion within it, you would get to understand with also, it's not about you only nailing and just putting an artwork there and just going and getting paid. Also, it's about the content creation, the language that you are living in that space. When people come, they would say, hey, this is wonderful. Also, if the works are hang lower, people would react to say, hey, this artwork is too low, this artwork is too high, or this artwork is skew. So also, it's you living a story or writing your history through visual literacy.
Win a Grammy, be a father and husband, but all these things don't mean a thing if I ain't got you. So I'll take my chance on you.
There is a sense that what we do is easy. So anyone off the street can, just walk in and be an actor or make a movie or edit. There is that sense that, no, anyway, I can do that, But again, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of hours that you put in. Even to translate an idea to something tangible and to something that can be absorbed is not that easy. So not all ideas work, not all ideas are received well. So it takes time, it takes a lot of thinking, it takes a lot of plotting. And then the one thing that people don't realize is there's a lot of practical logistics and organizations. So even to just set up this kind of an interview, you have to research, you have to know what you're coming in for and what you're asking. It's also the logistics of setting up, there's also a lot of time goes into it.
I am a curator, but also I don't also like to limit myself to also curation, because I know there's curators who only point to say, I want that work there, I want that work there, I want that work there. But if you can just give them these tools and say, yeah, you are a curator, put that work up, it becomes like a challenge, you know. So I would say I'm an installation curator. I install exhibitions and I curate. And sometimes when I install exhibitions, there are installations that I wouldn't do because of how maybe a curator or how someone wants me to put the works, because also how I install the works, it's there's a signature that I do when I install works. It's like, it's proper, it's clean, it's neat, it's simple, because some people would want you to come and install like 50 artwork in a small wall, and then also that destroys like the kind of language that one is also trying to push.
Be true.
I actually started learning keys because I needed to like teach my child. That's like the honest truth, you know. But like,
how you usually start a new song? Like, what's that process?
I don't know. Sometimes songs just come, you know. Yeah. So some of my songs that I only realize after, you know, when I listen back to them, I'm like, oh, so this is what the song is about. Because the song sort of came complete. When I say complete, not that like, you know, I heard everything at the same time, you know, but I was sort of just a conduit in the process, you know, if is conduit the right word? I was just an intermediary in the process, you know, like taking the song from where songs are gotten, and they just pass through me, and I just take them out, you know. And I realized afterwards, oh, so that song is actually not about the obvious first hearing, you know, but maybe there's something else, but not all the time, you know. Sometimes it's just songs are obvious.
So my work process, the idea will come from somewhere. I could be walking, watching something, or listening to music, or going to a gallery and seeing a painting. But anyway, the idea comes, and then I start scribbling with the pen and paper. I start scribbling, working out, and thinking about how would this work out. And then I just sit down and I start writing. And so what I do, you know, it's always interesting because people come up with this process where you write out each step of the way and the character arcs, and you go through all of that, which is useful. But what I tend to do is I just start writing, and then I start looking at those things once I've actually have written something. That's always it's really it's such a wonderful feeling because obviously in the rehearsal room you'll set up stuff thinking, okay, it's gonna be like this, and you know, we put the markings on the floor just to give us an idea of how the actors should move around. But then when you actually move on stage and you see the set and how it's been designed, it's just, you can't actually describe the feeling.
What I've seen is that also within the industry there's a lack. It's a few of us that I know who are installing exhibitions professionally, other than just getting someone to just hit a nail and hang. So my other idea that I'm currently working on is also trying to do training to get people who are interested in installation to come and learn, and just using few tools like a spirit level, a measuring tape, and a hammer, So those are the three main tools that one needs to just put up an artwork. But going forward, there's advancement of how you do it. So yeah, my idea now is to give training, and both within genders, you know, because also we're lacking quite a lot of women who are working in installing exhibitions, because also it has that idea of saying it's a job that is being done by only males. So I think this training would help a lot, because sometimes I find myself getting people asking me to come and install, and then there's people who want me to physically install, but if I send someone else, they wouldn't want. So also it's important for me to also do like a skills transferal, you know, because also we are not here for long. If I'm not here, someone else needs to continue preaching or continue with the passing of the skill.
But I mean, I'm still a songwriter first, you know, so everything I learn, I still learn to sort of enhance my songwriting, not necessarily to be like a virtuoso, you know, like play like the fastest things and like be like, you know, it's just all of it just to improve songwriting, you know. So I think even with these lessons that I'm taking, you know, like it's because I'm honestly like trying to write much more nuanced, for instance, like Zulu songs, but in my own way, you know, in my own.
Yena wazalelwa buthanda, wazalelwa ukuhlonishwa. Ngane yami ubaba akuyona into yokuhleka, akuyona umuntu wokudelelwa. Yena wadalela buthanda, wadalela ukuhlonishwa.
But you know, I have to figure out like, where do I go out of this, you know? Like, am I going to create something new? Like, is it going to be like, I don't know, is it going to be more rock? But like, I put this like weird off time, like Southern African, almost trance type music, you know? So I don't know, like I've got so many drafts.
I think we used to be a society that was a lot more interested in different types of arts. People used to go listen to music, go to the theater, go watch movies. So we used to be a lot more engaged and involved. And I think maybe it's also a reflection of the times we're in, and that people watch more TV maybe. We have to then rethink, okay, what do we need to do to expose more people to the different art forms, so that there is more of a demand and there is more of people knowing that, okay, there's live music, it's not just DJs, we can also watch this, we can also, there's Loiso, yes, on The Queen, but we can also watch him on stage. We need to really rethink, how do we start attracting and opening up those platforms more. And I think also maybe from our side as artists, we need to be a bit less precious and try and find also ways to collaborate amongst ourselves. And maybe those are ways to get more people attracted to what we do.